You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, Sportswire Radio, to celebrate one of the true OGs of this platform, the first backyard wrestler to have come on to Sportswire Radio. It was 2.5 years ago. And look at where he's gone. Look at where we've been. And now we celebrate this man. You might want to say, well, permanently acknowledge or celebrate this man, and you'll find out soon on what I mean by that. But boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Because, last year, our guest won the King of Palo. And the King of Palo, the latest show for the IMF, that's coming up. It's coming up actually in 2.5 weeks. And you know what time it is because our guest is going to tell us why he's going to go back to back. Our guest is going to talk about what is going on in the world of RCW because I see that pretty championship belt here. He'll talk about what's going on also in the foundation. I mean, is the foundation a thing still, or is it just Dirty, Mephisto, and Jovi with Drago and who knows whatever else? But we'll certainly make sure we don't need this tonight because, a few days ago we had an IMF roster member and we had that beat button on speed dial on standby, you might want to say, but we ain't going to need that tonight because we are here to celebrate one of the most beloved figures in backyard wrestling history, a man that transcends the GBYWN, a man that transcends this all wrestling matters movement that he has been front and center for. And I'm sure we'll talk about a championship match, maybe about that. We'll talk about a slew of other things. We will honor this man. There are a few people on this platform over the 6 years. When I hear their name, I smile. It's Darkron who's coming on here Friday. We're going to celebrate him. I can't wait to see Darkron back. It's this man, Shawn Jovi, who's here with us front and center, a man that he might hold maybe the most appearances in Sportswire Radio history. He's up there. Well, then again, Anthony Steele has probably interrupted so many times that maybe I have to, change my mind on that number. But let's say shows that he's supposed to have been on. This man definitely should hold that record. And if he doesn't, we're going to make sure he gets there. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an interesting day on Sportswire Radio. My life, it's been a bumpy ride, figuratively and literally, in the streets. I'm going to leave that at that. Let's just say I thought that I might be putting something on social media, but we're going to leave that at that because now it is time to celebrate a man that has done so much for our community, a man that transcends what he's done in the ring. You're waiting for that introduction. He's waiting for it, and I'm waiting to give him that introduction. And what a fitting time it's to have him here on this platform because we have had OG after OG these last few days on Sportswire Radio. The Tribal Cheese was back a few days ago, and everybody's still talking about that. We even had a bunch of players from the Five Town Sound women's soccer team. Today, we had the natural-born fighter, R.P. Davis, the first proper wrestler I ever interviewed. He was here on this platform, and yeah, Anthony Steele was here on Saturday, and yeah, that was a conversation, but now it is time to give our man that introduction that he so deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce this man here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he helped build to get to 1,400 plus subscribers and to get to not one but two magical moments with the man beast, the War Machine Rhino, and Savio Vega, who some would say was responsible for the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, this guest that I have here, maybe you might want to say he's responsible for the career of yours truly and Rhino and Savio Vega. Ladies and gentlemen, to quote Def Leppard, let's get rocked tonight. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one. What show? A man that is one of the OGs of Sportswire Radio. A man that was once upon a time America's resident rock star. A man that is celebrating a birthday. One of the greatest all time in the history of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, a father of the All Wrestling Matters movement. You know what time it is because his name is simply put, Rockstar Shawn Jovi's got it going on. Happy birthday to you, my friend. How are we doing? And happy birthday.
Thank you, Tom. It's been a good day so far. I'm glad to be back. After all, you and I helped build this.
Well, you actually did because you know, it's funny today. RP Davis, the first true wrestler that came onto my platform. I interviewed a guy, Chad Parham, but wasn't really a true conversation. RPD was the first formal wrestler I had on this platform 4 years ago. And you, July 2022, the first formal backyard wrestler that was here on this platform. And how fitting. And you built it because you came on here, and here we are today, 1,400 plus subscribers, those magical moments with Rhino and Savio Vega, and now it's your time in the sun. It's time for your magical moment here tonight soon, and how are we doing?
Good. It's been one hell of a day, Tom. And like I said, and in regards to what you said, Tom, we built this city. We built this from the ground up. And I am honored to be a part of this platform and to have been a part of this whole thing.
Well, you definitely deserve it. You deserve it.
It's been an amazing ride working with you, working with all the other backyard promotions out there that I have gotten to so far, and underground. It's been a great journey, and this is me on Sportzwire. Every time I'm on, I feel like it's just a satisfying experience. I stand here, you do your awesome introduction, best introduction I've ever seen. And then you make me feel like I'm not even a champion right now. And I feel like the world champion of everything when I'm on here. Because that is the kind of person you are, Tom. You're the best hype man ever.
I was told that when I was covering basketball, by the way. I never forget, I was in the locker room at the John Jay College men's basketball team years ago, and Coach Ryan Highland stands there, and this is the hype man. He goes, this is the hype man. He was going on and on and on, and he finally let me do my thing. But, it's very kind words.
Drafting a couple months, you could be my wingman while you're here.
Listen, if it was up to me, guys like you, guys like Dark Crown on Friday, James Taylor on Sunday, guys like you, I would have one every day. But, that's not how it goes. You have to give other people an opportunities,
You can't play draw boy all the time.
You've certainly done that, but you've definitely had some magical moments. I know we're going to talk about a lot of things. I definitely want to permanently recognize you here soon. And so for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you really figuratively, literally built, I mean, what is on your mind here to start tonight, sir, Shawn Joey?
Well, I mean, it's been a very rocky couple months, as you know, Tom, in the wrestling world for me. Lost a lot of matches. I'm on the right track, though. Being the Rockstar.
I mean, if I were to really go into current events, yeah, you've definitely not had the summer of Jovi in 2023 going to 24, yeah.
Yeah, but current events-wise, I do have an announcement to make. I think I made it public a few days ago, but for those who don't know, I have officially resigned from WCE. I am no longer a part of that company, and IMF is my home now.
Well, you know what? I think obviously you've been putting a lot of effort into the IMF, and I think that that's where you've established yourself on a large platform. And I think you have to do what's best for you and obviously what you think for your career. And I think that there's no question that everybody would support whatever you decide to do. And I think that whatever you do, you know it better than anybody else. And I think it's time for you to focus on what you want to do.
Right. And I'm forever grateful for what that company did for me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And I can still acknowledge that every day.
Yeah, I think there's no question that, like I said, you have obviously meant a lot to that company. I think that there's obviously things that I think a lot of people, I'm sure, have opinions on how that company's been. I think that company, has certainly had its ups and downs, but I think for you personally, on an individual level, being in front of hundreds of people every show for the IMF, what you've been to that company, where that's a company that's transcended backyard
Well,
to underground and to be
yeah,
into venues, and I
and
think that that's where you need to be. You need to focus on where I think you're going to be most successful, pretty much.
exactly. And in that company, I was just a caterpillar waiting to spread my wings. I'm a goddamn butterfly now, Tom. I spread my wings.
I'm not going to pull
This
out
means
the
that
Crazy Town Butterfly song for you and start rapping it for you,
I
though.
flew my happy wings down to Ohio last summer and had the time of my life. I've been flapping my wings all the way down to Iowa every month, having the time of my life. It's
I think
been
it's great. Listen, I mean, whatever you want to do, I think people will, I think, support you, whatever you decide to do. And I think ultimately, whatever the future of any company you go to, they'll be lucky to have you. And I think that the IMF has been your home the past, I would say 14, 15 months, and they've done a great job. And that's a company that, I think you and I remember when it started. A lot of it started here. I know James is here on his platform. I think James on his show in here, the IMF went from where it was to a company with a lot of success. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about the show coming up here that they have the King of Palo, and Ace Christian's a part of it. There's the VTW World Champion, just defeated Navon McDonald a few days ago, and he's wrestling the first match of a DBW VTW wrestler against an IMF wrestler, the King of Palo. We're going to be talking about D'Angelo, the Flame, who's back. CJ Black is back in the IMF. So a lot of great things, and you're front and center, and I think that it's the right decision.
Yeah, I think so too. Brighter things are on this horizon that I'm taking and the road I'm taking. The grass is much greener, I mean, I've done everything I could have done for that company. And
I think that's it. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think there was much more I could have done for it. So that's why I'm spreading my wings, expanding my horizons, and moving forward to a new era. It's 2025.
That's it. You know what? The best is yet to come. And the IMF, we've had a great relationship with them, going on 2 years. I remember the first time, Omen and Soldier came on here, and, they've worked very hard. And obviously the rest of the locker room, Ox is here. I know Dirty's been there right front and center. I know you and Dirty are brothers still. I know you and Omen may or may not be, but, it's a company, Felix Jones, and certainly Jason Myers, Jordan Netz, and, Freddie Daniels. I mean, a lot of great talents that have really made a lot of themselves, and they've put the work in, and that's why they have the 3,100 or so plus subscribers. And Anthony's come in here, Justin Parsley, another guy that was in a company, and I think obviously has achieved greater success, and I think it's just great stuff. We've seen Prince of Chia now. I mean, I'm not going to mention too much about Ace Diamond to you, and how about Il Drago? I mean, this guy is unbelievable, just almost the stir that straws the drink. And I mean, Mephisto, who was obviously your brother, with Dirty, and just so many great talents in the IMF. And, you all put the work in. That's why your company's in the Hall of Fame, and almost all of you individually are Hall of Famers. Drago gets his moment soon in that individually. And, it's just, it's great to see what the IMF has done. And to me, I think you got to do what's best for you. And I think the IMF has put you on a bigger pedestal, and, they've helped a lot of people reach places that I don't know if they would have reached otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I've been told I am the behind the scenes guy. So I do all the editing, I do all the recording, I do everything for their YouTube channel. A good chunk of it, anyway.
You're not surprised at all, because there's always stuff on the IMF page aside from your vlogs. And Dakota, I got to give Dakota a shout out. She's always here in the chat, and you all have really, I think, put that work in. JoJo Jackson, got to give him a shout out. He's on the road up. And I mean, there's a lot of great talents that I think you all have put the work in, and you have to go where you feel it's best. And I think that's what it comes down to, pretty much.
More or less. Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, all roads are paved with gold, and you're looking to get some gold. So let's talk about that. I'm going to honor you here in a little bit. But speaking of gold, so we have a big show coming up here with the IMF, the King of Palo. We're going to be obviously talking front and center about it here 2 weeks from tomorrow. And we're going to have a slew of pretty much everybody we just spoke about. You'll be here. I have no doubt about that. So I mean, you won last year, the King of Palo, and then there was some events that transpired that may have started this road to where you're no longer in the company you just mentioned. But I'll leave that at that for a different time. You won it last year, and you
There's,
want to you want to go back to back. And so for those that are listening and watching, considering how deep this field is, tell us how you're going to win the King of Palo and go back to back.
you see, Tom, there's a lot of great talent in this match. Some talent that I've never faced before, some I'm very familiar with. But the thing that separates this from any other match is I won last year. So technically, I have the momentum going into this match. Now, I know a lot of people could say, like, well, Shawn's lost all these matches. He's in another big match. Boo-hoo. I'm Omen Black. But no, I couldn't help myself. But no, it's an honor to be able to defend this crown. But make no mistake, boys, in the match, I don't get dethroned easily. I don't get dethroned whether I'm the undisputed king of rock, your resident rock star, or anything else. America's cat dad, that ain't getting taken from me. I'm still America's resident rock star. I just don't have Keith Howard to hold on my shoulder.
All right. So in this case, unlike what we spoke about with you the last, I say 4 or 5 months, because of last year, this is a case where you feel like you have momentum, but the field is extremely deep here. I mean, there were names announced, and it's CJ Black, right, the good guy, and Anthony Steele, a man you've got quite a history with, and, you know, D'Angelo LaFlame. A lot of big names are in the King of Palo. So considering I think the pool is deeper this year, and the names that Dirty announced on Facebook about a week and a half ago. So how are you going to be able to compete with some of these names? They're going to be here this time.
Well, I mean, like you said, this is a slew of stars. Like, the best of the best are going to be in this King of Palo match.
Mm-hmm.
And a phrase I've always gone by when I was younger and was in my party days before I became a resident rock star and just partied like a rock star. I used to say, like, when people left, I'm like, hey, don't die, survive. Well, that's what we're doing here. This is a match of survival. It's a gauntlet eliminator, from what I understand. So that means whether I come out as number 1 or number 9 or 10 or however many people I'm going through, I got to make sure I'm on my game. I got to make sure I take down my competition, and I got to make sure nothing stands in my way of becoming the 2-time King of Palo, baby.
So how do you prepare for that in the pool of names that are there? You know, Anthony, certainly, I'm sure you caught some of the things Anthony said on Saturday's show. I won't go down that road.
Was too busy hearing the buzzer.
Yeah, well, you didn't. You're not going to have to worry about this. Yeah, that was.
Too busy laughing at the buzzer. Honestly, I was almost anything.
I think that's probably why it got as many views as it did on Saturday's show, because I kept going like this the whole time. But thankfully, we don't have to use that very much with you. But so, like, how do you prepare for some of these names? I know you've seen them here on this platform.
Right.
You probably watched drips and drabs. And, you know, D'Angelo and CJ, yes, you've shared locker rooms with them, but these aren't people that you've really shared a ring with, if at all. So some of these names that are coming in here on the 22nd, how do you prepare for that?
It's hard to prepare, Tom, and I'll say it. You have some of the best talent coming into this match. CJ Black, the good guy.
Oh, my goodness. What a...
I mean, I've never wrestled CJ, and I have the utmost respect for him. But he's not, if he's in my way, he's going down. D'Angelo Flame, the All Wrestling Matters champion, will be defending against Soldier GP. We'll get into that later.
We're going to get into that in a little bit. Yep, I got the poster. We'll
get into that later. But he's not a force to be reckoned with. I faced him in the ladder match, the inaugural ladder match. He's a tough competitor. There's a reason why Soldier also put him in the foundation.
And Anthony Steele had a lot to say about that.
He's a true pioneer. He's a true pioneer for this All Wrestling Matters movement as our first champion.
Yep.
And then we got a whole slew of names. It's just crazy how many people are in this match. It's hard to prepare for each individual one, let alone all of them. So I guess to answer your question, Tom, I just got to go in there with the mindset of I got to take them down at all costs. It's what I got to do to survive.
What if you're in there with some of your brethren, like Il Drago, Mephisto, if there's that possibility of such? What would what would that be like? Or, what have you thought about that at all? Or if that possibility is that, what if you guys are competing against each other?
Right. And Soldier GP, I believe, is also in the match, and we all know what it is. He's my brother.
Yep. You
From
got a
another,
lot of brothers here. You got a lot. You got Soldier. You got, El Drago. Drago loves you. Drago's here. He was
right?
praising you earlier in the show. Mephisto, Dirty. I mean, you got a lot of brothers still. I mean, Omen,
But there's a difference between that and the match itself. You see,
mm,
like I said to Mephisto when I was on here a while back with you, we're brothers. But
yep.
once that bell rings, until that bell rings again, we're not brothers, brother.
So you guys could separate that, because Omen was saying, as I'm sure you've heard a few times here over the past month or so, that you guys, he didn't buy into it. But you say no, that we know we go out there in the ring and it's all business, but we're still brothers. Omen was saying not so fast. So you feel Omen was not onto something, or what?
Omen, he's delusional. Hell, for all I know, he's possessed. Him and his band of gothic emo church boys, they need to learn their place. They think they run IMF, but they don't. They really don't. The foundation, whether we're together, apart, separated, at the end of the day, we're a family.
Are you guys still the foundation, though? Do you guys? I mean, there's even this whole Justin Parsley predicament in this. I mean,
Yeah, it's a very complicated family right now, especially with Holman joining
do you
us.
consider Justin Parsley a part of the foundation? Another guy that just had a birthday recently, the hall monitor of Sportswire Radio, and I mean, Anthony Steele apparently now has tied him in Hall of Fame times he's been in it. And I mean, do you trust Justin Parsley, or what's your opinion on him?
I mean, if I had to choose between Parsley and Steele, I'd definitely say Parsley without a blink.
I think most people on Sportswire listen to at this point, because I was getting messages from anonymous wrestlers were like, "What is Steele saying?" And I'm like, next we moved on. Thankfully, with one segment, I won't go into detail on the air, that Steele said something and somebody didn't like it, and I was like, thankfully, I was able to move to the next topic. But okay, so you trust Parsley more than Steele, but that doesn't really encourage me much. If I'm
it's a tough situation with the whole battle with the sinners now. I wasn't a big part of that. I was kind of doing my own thing, so I was kind of left out of the equation. But honestly, no matter whether we're united, apart, I always feel like the foundation was more than a faction. It was more than a stable. It was more than a team. God, Tom, it was a family.
You guys were. I mean, the picture. I mean, I saw it the other day, right? The picture was you, Drago, Soldier, Omen, Dirty. I mean,
and it's become a family for me, Tom. When I was at that other company and finding my way there, they took me a step further when they showed up. And they showed me the way. They took me into the foundation as one of their own.
Well, they took you to heights in your career that, you didn't see quite in the GBYWN or an ICW.
Exactly. They gave me a chance, and I ran with the chance.
They did. I think there's no question that.
For it, Tom, the foundation, love them or hate them or think they're together or apart, we're never truly apart. Even in the toughest times, think about it. The Shield. You think about Mox and Roman and Seth.
Yeah.
They were brought up. They were brothers. Brothers fight.
Came from the beginning. Yep.
Sometimes
Degeneration X was like that too. Yep. Degeneration X was another.
The evolution, all that stuff.
Yep.
NWO. It's a thing. It's a thing that happens in this industry. Egos will always get in the way. But at the end of the day, the foundation is what it is. You know what it is, Tom.
You'd be okay with, let's say, Drago or Soldier or Mephisto, or I guess he's in the foundation, or even Dirty, let's say. I mean, would you be okay with any of them win the King of Palo and you come up short? Would you be okay with that?
I mean, I've always been a fair competitor, Tom. It's
because I know you don't want Anthony Steele to win it.
Oh yeah, at all costs. That guy. He's a beeping disaster on your end there.
Well, he did have a show that on Saturday that some people would like to forget, but I mean, I'll leave that at that. But you'd be okay though with any of you guys winning it. It's still in foundation hands.
Hey, at the end of the day, the foundation wins at something that the House of Wolves don't have, and that's a crown. But I'd prefer to win the match, and that's what I plan and intend on doing, Tom.
So what would it mean to you to win back-to-back King of Palos? Would that basically erase the struggles you've had the last, 5 or 6 months? Would that erase that? What would that mean to you to win the King of Palo for a
I
second straight
think it
year?
would be a fresh and new beginning, Tom. I'd be putting the past year of losses and chances that got blown, put all those chances and forget about them. Because if I win King of Palo 2 years in a row, I think that's a fresh start and a new beginning, possibly going into the summer of Jovi.
You know what? Summer is right around the corner, and it's February 5th, and the weather will eventually warm up. And I think even though we're dealing with about to get snow in New York, I think there's no
We're
question
getting,
that,
10, we're getting like 10 inches when I go down to Cedar Rapids this weekend.
well, we're only going to get like 2 inches tomorrow. So I can't complain, but I'm hoping to not go anywhere. But then again, I shouldn't go anywhere, period. But we're not that far away from there. And I think that's exciting for people. And, I see some people that are tuned in, so I'm going to do it now because I think it's a special moment. You got a lot of people that I think are here right now. I'm starting to see the numbers pick up. And, Shawn, Jovi, you've meant a lot to this platform, and I'm going to break the fourth wall for him. And I know I see some people giving some up and down comments, but I want to break the fourth wall for a minute. I want to permanently do something here on Sportswire Radio. If you would allow me to take over the reins here of the screen, I'm going to do that while you put your King of Palo to the side on your dresser there with all your other achievements. And I see some of my certificates, which I appreciate very much. But since it is your birthday, you've meant so much. I think this will certainly top or come close to some of the other awards you've gotten here from this platform. And congratulations, because February 5th is now permanently acknowledged as Shawn Jovi Day on all Sportswire Radio platforms. Not just tonight, until the end of eternity. Every year, February 5th comes, Shawn Jovi's here. Every February 5th, it's Shawn Jovi Day, whether it's on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, X, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, sportswireradio.org, any other platform that we're on. It's your day permanently, and there are very few people that have gotten a permanent like that. Rhino is one, you're the other. The Tribal Cheese on Monday got a month. So there's very few people that could permanently say they got a permanent day on this platform, and you're one of them. And congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you, Tom. I'll be sure to print that out and add it to the wall. That's probably the most meaningful one. Since the Wrestler of the Year in the Hall of Fame award, and this might even top it, because having a day on my birthday for the rest of forever and ever on Sportswire Radio, hey,
that's it. Every time you're here, February 5th, that's it. Just whatever the calendar is. Jovi's on Sportswire. Jovi, it's his day. He's permanently honored, and I think that it means something because there's, again, Rhino got it, and he's Rhino, and you are Shawn Jovi, but you deserve that accolade. You deserve that moment. I see a lot of people here in the chat right now, and it's your moment. It's your time. We all appreciate you, and we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for guys like you. And thank you for all that you've done in representing wrestling. You've put your blood, sweat, and tears out there. Going on 20 years. You've been a part of a number of different movements. You've certainly led the way. You're a man that people have a lot of affinity for, and you definitely got this permanently.
Thank you, Tom. It's an honor. And like I said, as you said, this is a hard achievement to come by in Sportswire. So to be one of the first to get a permanent day, that's a good feeling. And I thank you very much for it, sir.
Well, you definitely deserve that. I will get to the chat in a few minutes. But, you mentioned All Wrestling Matters, and I want to talk about that for a few minutes before I go into some other topics, because D'Angelo the Flame is making his long-awaited return to the ring, and he's going to do that here in the Palo Community Center. And I'm excited about that, and I know it was announced not too long ago, and I put the poster up here about it. And we have an All Wrestling Matters World Underground Championship match. I believe that D'Angelo is defending this for the first time since, actually, in my state. He defended the title in the Empire State in October at Shocky's house party. He actually defended against a recent guest, Mickey Vargas. Mickey Vargas is a traveler, just went to Texas, and great guy. But D'Angelo is here. He's defending the championship against a familiar face. I think you might know what time it is. And while I put the poster up, I was wondering what you thought about that. And just overall observations on an All Wrestling Matters World Underground title match here live in the Palo Community Center coming up.
Right, and that's really exciting for me, Tom, because you and I created that belt together. It was used for this movement, and like you said, it didn't see a lot of action. So while D'Angelo's in town fighting in the King of Palo, I figured, hey, why not? I'm taping stuff for RCW. Why don't we have this as one of the marquee matches? Because Soldier GP, even though a lot of people consider my brother, and some people might think this is favoritism, it's not. The reason why Soldier GP's in this match is one, as a thank you for all he's done for me, and two, he earned it. He is a star on this platform.
Oh, Soldier, what he did, listen, let me tell you something. What Soldier did, he's the one champion that sold tickets. When you sell tickets, I don't care if you sell 10 or 10,000, he sold tickets as a champion. You can't, take anything away from what he did, and he traveled. I know, Soldier talks about the whole thing with Jack Delta, but I'm going to, focus on the positives. But Soldier, he did a hell of a job traveling. He put all his miles and time in, and he's in the Riot in the Ring 2 coming up in June, and he traveled to all these places. I mean, and he traveled to you. He traveled to you almost 2 years ago, and I think it's fitting that Soldier's the one challenging D'Angelo LaFlame, because D'Angelo's been this traveler. Everybody talked about D'Angelo. He had the most frequent flyer miles in 2024, maybe in the underground circuit, but I would say Soldier went to the most meaningful places in 2023 and 24, and where he'll go in Worcester, Massachusetts. If I hope I said that right there, Jake, coming up in June. And I think it's a very poetic match here.
I think it is. And I hope whoever moves on and continues as champion, I hope they can represent it well. This is
What do you think about that? Two of your foundation brothers. I mean, you must be touring here again, another matchup here, sir.
I mean, I respect D'Angelo. I think he's a great competitor, but at the end of the day, all favoritism aside as well, you know who it is, my man. It's gonna.
Well, I'm excited because D'Angelo hasn't really been in a ring in a while. D'Angelo's, he's definitely, had some injuries. He's had some different things to contend with, and I think similar situation in some ways to what you've been dealing with. And I think that it's going to be a really intriguing match because, again, D'Angelo on paper has probably traveled to more places of late, but Soldier's the guy that he put the IMF on his back as the champion, objectively speaking, to break the fourth wall. I mean, he sold tickets. That's a very difficult thing, aside from the tickets that I purchased. But, I mean, he sold tickets. I think that's, puts him in a different category than these other champions. And I think that's why it's a really fascinating match. This is a main event. I mean, this would be a main event any show, anywhere. And yet it's a part of what we're going to have here in the Palo Community Center.
That's correct. I mean, like I said, we can't have the match air live because D'Angelo and Soldier are already in the match.
Yep.
In the King of Palo with me. But like I said, once I get done editing all the IMF stuff, I will be working on Winter Wasteland and be releasing as soon as possible to release all these great matches that I plan on holding.
Absolutely. And I see a lot of people here. And if you want to watch some of those matches, I'm going to put Shawn Jovi's YouTube up here in a little bit, but hit the sub button for the IMF. I would really appreciate that because you're going to watch a lot of these great matches here. You're going to see a slew of your favorites here in the IMF. They're going to be here 2 weeks from tomorrow. And Il Drago is going to be here. And I saw Il Drago. He's got a birthday tomorrow. And when he's back on Sportzwire, I'm going to give him the permanent day for the 6th of February. Yeah, you know what time it is. I'm going to put him in the Hall of Fame. So he'll get 2 for 1. So don't you worry. I'll work my way up the calendar. Maybe Drago should be here tomorrow. Well, let me see. Let me see what the schedule is like. But we're definitely going to get him back here, I think, the following Sunday regardless. But it's great to be with you. And I'm excited about the match. Like I said, just in closing, D'Angelo is just one of those guys. I got a chance to watch him in some other states. He did a hell of a job in the Riot in the Ring. What he's done in representing, going to Shocky's house party, and just overall how he's conducted himself. And he's on the way to being a professional wrestler. And what Soldier's done, it's a great match. And I think Soldier's going to laugh when I say it. I think that this match will certainly top his match with Jack Delta. I think he'd probably laugh, but chuckle and would say, yeah, well, that's an obvious one, but it will, because I think of just the magnitude of it. And I think that this is going to be in a venue. And I think that that's, great. I'm excited about that. And I did want to ask you one more question before I get to the chat. I know the chat wants to talk to you. Let me take this off the screen for a minute. And I wanted to ask you, I talked about Ace Christian for a minute. I think I can ask you this question safely rather than when I was going to ask Anthony this question. And I have a feeling Anthony would have said something. Would have been, well, we'll leave it at that. But Ace Christian's coming. He's coming to the IMF to wrestle a match that I think a lot of people have been kind of wanting to see for a long time. And a DBW, VTW wrestler, an IMF wrestler, and Thomas McEntee. There's a lot of history there between the two of them. And Thomas McEntee has been a fan of Ace Christian's, and they've had a long-standing relationship. Ace Christian just beat one of the very best in the backyard circuit, and Yvonne McDonald. It was a hell of a match. He's the VTW world champion. He's been a mainstay in DBW. He's actually on his way to being a professional wrestler. I actually had his trainer on here about a week and a half or so ago, Van Hansen. Kid Mike was here last week, who was also his other trainer. And Eric Black is a guy that's wrestled Ace Christian. So I have a lot of connections and an affinity for Ace Christian. I'm a fan of DBW. I'm a big fan of VTW. And of course, you know what time it is. I'm a huge, huge fan of the IMF. And what's your opinions on that as an IMF roster member in the first of any kind we've ever seen in a DBW, VTW wrestler versus an IMF wrestler? I almost equate it to like when Mike Awesome and Taz wrestled back 25 years ago. It was an ECW wrestler, technically. It was a WCW wrestler wrestling a WWF wrestler in an ECW ring. And I kind of think it's that same thing. So what's your opinions on all that?
Well, Tom, remember a couple years ago, we were joking about the Forbidden Gate and Forbidden
Door. Yep.
That's exactly what this is. And it's a very, very good door opening too. I think having Ace Christian in IMF is big. I mean, he's a big star. I don't know a whole lot about the guy. I just know he's a big deal around his parts.
Yep. Big deal. Very big deal.
A big deal wrestler. And for McEntee to get a shot at him, hey, all the power to him. I hope he does his best because I think he's going to have a tough test.
Are you rooting for McEntee especially? Because I would imagine some guys in the IMF are going to be like, leave all aside my allegiances. I want to see McEntee win because, it's IMF and Christian's DBW, VTW, or where do you fall in all that? I mean, objectively speaking, does it matter or does it not matter?
Well, I mean, it matters, but it doesn't. I mean, let's face it. McEntee last month took out Nicholas Crenson.
Yes, he did.
And he declared himself to be a future RCW champion. Well, I just want to announce now that I'm going to grant him a title shot against the winner of the match we'll announce later on.
We're going to do that in a little while. That's a great segue in a little while. We'll get to that. Yep.
I think McEntee would be a good contender for the winner of that RCW title match. So in March, we'll do it that way. But as far as the match itself goes, I mean, like I said, McEntee's going to be put to the test. He's a young gun. He's newer. He's not as fine-tuned as an Ace Christian.
Ace Christian was born in a wrestling ring. Ace Christian's father is Mr. Judgment, who was trained by John Rambo. John Rambo, for those that don't know, in the Pennsylvania wrestling circuit, is a Hall of Fame wrestler. He is a guy that trained a lot of guys that went and had big careers in the independents. Mr. Judgment has been in the ring with WWE guys. Ace Christian's got the look. I mean, he was basically right out of Central Casting to be a wrestler. This is what he wanted. He played football, but really wants to wrestle. So, I mean, this is a huge test for McEntee. It's not like wrestling, Tyler Fury, and I love Crenson, but Ace Christian was born in a wrestling. He's the equivalent of an Orton. He's the equivalent of a Flair. He's the equivalent of a Rhodes. He's the equivalent of a Hart, and all those other names you've seen that are part of Offspring. And that's the kind of pressure I think that McEntee's gonna have, objectively speaking, here coming up on the 22nd of February.
It sounds like it. I mean, McEntee's going up against literally a royal family in the underground scene.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ace Christian is pretty much a golden boy. He is the king of the underground. And for what I know in his area, I mean, all the power to him. I hope McEntee does well. Don't have a set favorite on who's going to win, but I want to see a good match in the spirit of competition. And that's what I want to see out of these two.
I think that's well said. Let me ask you one more question on that. And before I do that, please go hit a sub for Shawn Jovi. He's at 808 subs. Let's get him at least 2 subs. It's his birthday. We've permanently recognized it as Shawn Jovi Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. And I would really appreciate that if you do so. But let me ask you this question. Ace Christian shows up to the IMF. I mean, are you going to go introduce yourself? Are you expecting him to introduce himself? What do you think about that? And just in terms of just that kind of approach, more or less.
I mean, with a big name like him, I should be the one introducing myself. Because like a lot of people know who Ace Christian is in the backyard.
But a lot of people know Shawn Jovi. I mean, you've been in the game longer than him.
You see, the thing is, he's young. He's a hot topic right now. And I mean, yeah, you could say I'm a hot topic too, but Ace Christian, I have more respect for in terms of meeting people like that and introducing myself. I mean, when James Taylor showed up at IMF, I made sure to greet him right away. You saw it on the vlog.
Oh, listen, James, guys loved James when James, came in and he established himself. And I think that Ace, a lot of people are going to be, I think, waiting to see, will he have that same connectability? Will he have that same favorability? Will he come in and introduce himself? It's definitely a different environment, and I think we'll see what happens. But I think regardless, it's a great thing for the circuit. It's a great thing for the underground wrestling community because, again, DBW, IMF especially, not as much VTW, but DBW and IMF, there's been a lot of different things that I think people have seen out there. People have perspectives on one side, the other side, but the fact that we're going to get Ace Christian here and Thomas McEntee in an IMF venue, I think that, like you said, that's going to break the forbidden door. In many ways, I compare it once again, to Mike Awesome and Taz. WCW wrestler technically wrestling a WWF wrestler in an ECW ring. That was the only time officially ever you technically got a WCW wrestler wrestling a WWF wrestler in an ECW ring. And I think it's the same thing here with again, Ace Christian, DBW, and the VTW World Heavyweight Champion wrestling now the number 1 contender to the RCW World Heavyweight Championship, Thomas McEntee. The only way you're going to see that is at the Palo Community Center, February 22nd. We have pre-show coverage for that 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that. I think it's time. You know what time it is. Let's get to the chat. A lot of people want to talk with you. I want to give them the opportunity to say hi to you. Zilla is first. She would like to say hi to the resident rock star, Shawn Jovi, and happy birthday. You better believe it. Thank you, Zella, very much. And we should be here tomorrow with James Barris, the owner of CCW. Nicholas Crenton, the RCW champion, is going to be tuning in, I'm sure, very closely to what you're going to say about that championship situation that he's holding. And happy birthday. I agree. And speaking of people that have, I guess, a happy birthday wish, Justin Parsley, the hall monitor of Sportswire Radio, have a real happy birthday. Get it real, REEL. Make sure you take it sleazy. I think that was Steele's episode all night long. We're not going to go down that road. But what is your favorite birthday treat? That's actually a pretty good question. So what is your favorite birthday treat?
Give me some cake and ice cream, and I'll be happy. Wow.
Well, that's a good one. When I was growing up in Brooklyn, I don't know if my mother's tuned in. She said she's been missing my shows lately, but that's okay. But that's okay. She'll figure it out one day. But as a kid, I used to always love getting a Haagen-Dazs ice cream cake. That was I think my 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, up to maybe 15. Every birthday, that was what I looked forward to most. A Haagen-Dazs ice cream cake. It was great. When we lived on 78th Street in beautiful Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and which maybe I should be there instead of where I am now. I wouldn't have as many problems in the street, but that's a different show for a different time. But, I used to love the affinity for an ice cream cake. So that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. So hopefully you get some cake and ice cream, but I couldn't get you that, but I got you a certificate instead that permanently recognizes you. I commented under the PWF banner and said we're going live soon. Although I'm a little disappointed about the guy that ran the page doesn't give us much access to it. But I'm going to leave that it's a positive night tonight. And hello to Nicholas Crenson. Yes, yes, yes. Hello to Justin Parsley, the PWF champion. Interesting, the RCW champion and the PWF champion comment consecutively. And you know what time it is. You know Dirty's here. Dirty is here. He wouldn't miss this for the world. Good old Dirty. Love Dirty.
I love Dirty more.
Well, you love him more than Omen does, probably. But
Well, I mean,
let's move on here. Yeah, Zilla, all these hyped up hellos for these nobodies except Jovi, and you give me this SMFH. Well, thank you for that. We want you to be a fan of Backyard Wrestling, Zilla. Please be a fan.
please be. I'll be.
Yes, but speaking of people who I'm a fan of, and I cannot wait to give him his day Friday at 9 o'clock, and I'm expecting pretty much the same kind of turnout here. That is, of course, Mr. Darkron himself, who's getting closer to his return to the ring. I hope very, very soon. I don't want to spoil anything, but he's got a YouTube channel. Give him more subs. I got a whole bunch of people here, so you know what time it is. Darkron kind of foundation by extension, and it's almost going to be kind of like his birthday on Friday. He returns to Sportswire for the first time in a long time, and he gets a solo spot. Can't wait to see this man. You know, it's you and him. It's you, him, and Joe Star of NEW. Like, if all three of you change, I'm retiring. I'm passing the baton to somebody else. So you better not change. Darkron better not change. Joe Star and NEW, the Puerto Rican Dusty Rhodes. We got you, the resident Rockstar, and Darkron. I mean, you all three better not change. But do change to give him a sub. That's for sure.
Yeah, I told him congratulations.
What a treat! You got Sick Rick here. I mean,
man.
You got Sick Rick. I got to give Sick Rick a big plug here. He says happy Psycho birthday. They've been killing it there over in the GBYWN page over there.
Oh, yeah. They've been posting a lot of great old school matches. I suggest everybody watching right now to check out.
I'm going to give a plug. You know I got to give a plug. Let me do that. They are killing it right now. They got like 100-something subs in the last month or so. Rick's definitely doing it right.
When they started going. So,
well, they're going and going. They're on the road to 2,000, and I hope that maybe Rick comes back next month. I think it's time to bring him back on Sportswire in March. But in the meantime, give him a sub because Shawn Jovi's a part of that GBYW. And Aaron, I just saw on AEW TV this guy Will Ospreay, and he was a part of the GBYW one. So
you want to hear a fun fact that
I would love. You can say anything you want.
So this came from Rad Dad, and I didn't know it, but he told me a few months ago that the GBYWN World Pure title was a belt I held in 2010. I'm trying to remember. I'm ancient. I'm a fossil, whatever. But no, that belt actually went and traveled around. It eventually became a belt in the UK. It traveled.
Yes. You know what? That was a topic. Yes. Rad Dad mentioned that when he was here on Sportswire. Yes.
And Will Ospreay had a shot and lost. Well, I had a shot at the World Pure title too and won. So what does that say? What does it say? I mean, he probably had a tougher opponent than I had. There wasn't much to Mike Creston back then for me, but hey, I can say something I have over a AEW all-star wrestler. Like, Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and to say I have something like that over him, as little and not noteworthy as it may sound, it's kind of cool, to be honest.
Well, you know what? That's what I'd rather have you on Sportswire tonight. I don't know what Ospreay will be like live. I mean, it's a legitimate thing. I don't know. I don't know, because you know what? You get pro guys on, and some of them talk and some of them don't. But it's how it goes. But yes, hello to Rick and hello to Kron. James Taylor, of course, who I know is going to be here Sunday in his spot for the second straight year, by the way, after the big game. Would like to say happy birthday. So the ROBW owner who you shared a locker room with, and I know you share an affinity for. You share much more of an affinity for James Taylor than Anthony Steele does. But then again, Anthony Steele, I don't think much people really are, clamoring for him to say something at the moment. But we certainly appreciate Mr. Steele. But James says happy birthday. I don't know why you don't want to come to IMF. I'm going to move away from that topic. I'll let Dirty handle that, or maybe Gary if he's out there. Yes, congratulations to Darkron. I got to say hello to my buddy Steven Storm of BTW. BTW, another outstanding promotion, doing a great job. And hello, Mr. Shawn Jovi. And Zilla, don't hate on a whole company because certain people don't take to you. People have their opinions. Yes, absolutely. Let's give everybody a chance.
Whether they're face or heels, though. I mean, it's the name of the game.
Let's,
You got to respect their face or heel.
let's give everybody a chance. I think somebody who's breaking the fourth wall would like to say happy birthday, Mr. Ox McCoy.
Hey, Ox. Hey, Ox, just don't eat corn the long way.
I knew you would go. Even Comatose is getting in on that. That's why I'm not doing that. But I think you belong in IMF, Zilla. I'll let Dirty handle that. Yes, hello to Ox. We appreciate him. IMF definitely helped a lot of us tremendously. And IMF played a huge role in Summer Bash. You think about the Summer Bashes, what the IMF did in going to Wisconsin. You think about the relationship with Justin Parsley, ROEW in Michigan. Now we're going to see the riot in the ring. A lot of IMF members. And that, I'm sure that, you're very curious to see what happens there with the IMF going to Massachusetts. Ox is going there, Soldier, Omen. I'm sure you're not rooting for Omen much, but you've got Soldier there. You know what time it is for that.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
Anthony Steele was getting dunked on. He was getting dunked on there because he wasn't there. But I'm not going there.
It's Anthony Steele.
Well, I'm sure Anthony will have something to say because, as he would say, that's what I do. That's what I do. Yes, we appreciate Stephen Storm. Got to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Ace Reed. Of course, Ace Reed in Australia, Wrestling Zero, BWDU, triple champion. Would like to say good day.
Hello.
Thank you, Ace. Darkron, not too much help, brother. The talent was already there. Good. Hit the sub button for the IMF. I would appreciate that. Also, if you're here, we're on the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page. I would appreciate it very much if you gave us a sub. We are there. I like to build our subs up there. So I put the link up in the description. That would be great. Every sub counts. I know that James posted a video on there. He can do that. I give him permission to. He wants to do something with the WWE 2K games. At this point, I don't have time for it, but that's the page.
I want to do it with them, but I just don't have enough time invested.
At this point, I'm lucky to be on Sportswire. A man that I owe an appearance to, Dominic, who was a huge part of things today on the YBW channel, on the YBW network. He defended his title against Magnum Carter in a title-for-title match, which was interrupted by Aaron Blaze, and he will be on here soon. I apologize we haven't, but we'll get him back on. In fact, we know what it is, Tom, and the King of Pale will remain a Foundation member. There you go. Dirty is confident. Going back to what I said, how you doing, Dominic? Good to see Dominic. Enjoyed the YBW show. Hello to Ace Reed and Justin Parsley, and boy, we got somebody here that would like to say, for life, brother, happy birthday, Jovi.
He is a former RCW member, actually, back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I met up with his group, the NWF, that he had a long time ago. They were doing a second run, kind of like what I'm doing now.
Nice.
And finished out their careers in RCW, which I thought was really nice. It was a great experience working with Semi and his friend Ryan. They were great. They were great members of the RCW, and I feel like I owe them a lot more. I did tell them, though, if him and his friend Ryan, who are best friends, if they ever want to wrestle in a ring, because that was their dream, I'll help them make it happen. I got that power. So, if you're listening, wink, wink, get Ryan in. I'll give you guys a match for your retirement. I'll help you.
Love to see that. And if you're here, hit a sub for Jovi's YouTube channel. I put the link up now on the screen and in the chat. Let's get him more subs. Let's thank, obviously, the guys. And I was watching your most recent video of way back in the day in RCW. We're going to talk about RCW when we get through the chat. I know that's what we're here for, so that's going to be an exciting thing. Freddie Daniels would like to say happy birthday, John. Called you John Jovi. At least he didn't call you Shawn Selby, like when you came out in your early RCW days. Don't know anything about that at all.
No, Mr. Selby's behind that. Freddie, Jeffrey Daniels.
I got we're going to talk about that. I got to post it with Freddie. I'm going to get there. I promise I'm going to get there. But a man that you certainly, I know, don't have much of an affinity for right now, Mr. Omen Black, the IMF champion, says that there will be a new King of Palo, a king to fall like they all do, and like how you will, Shawn. That's what Mr. Black would like to say.
It's Omen. Next.
Thank you, Dirty. Up, thank you, Kron. Up. Zilla says hello. Let's go, Jovi. Yep, hello to one half of the Switchblades. Another day to hate in February. February is a tough month. I will say February is a very tough month in the world. It's a tough month. But happy Sean Jovi Day. Jovi deserves his own month. Well, we gave him a permanent day. I think day is permanent, right? Permanent trumps the day.
Jovi month. That's too much.
Well, you never know. Living on a backyard prayer. Attaboy, Jovi. Thank you, Green. And if you're here right now, because we have a lot of people here, hit the sub for me, hit the sub for the IMF, hit the sub for Jovi, and hit the sub for anybody else out here. We got a lot of people here. I really appreciate your support. And Jovi's proving he's a draw. He's definitely drawing tonight. I think he's got more on the live than Savio Vega did in his last appearance. I think Savio had 21 on the live. You got 22. So you beat Savio Vega, at least on the live view. Jovi Brewery, you never know. We mentioned that Il Drago. Happy birthday to Drago. We will definitely give him his due when he is back on Sportswire, possibly tomorrow if we'll see what the schedule is. And if not, he's here the following Sunday. Excited about that. Love Drago. Love Drago. Though Anthony Steele, another person he's not much of affinity for, but I love seeing Drago on Sportswire on Saturday. You saw him with the briefcase and the hourglass, and, Steele got freaked out kind of. He definitely got freaked out. I don't like saying my name other than my theme. So Zilla, shut your mouth and know your role. It's Rockstar Day. Yep, it is Rockstar Day. How you doing? Good to see you. It is definitely Rockstar Day. Your brother Mephisto wouldn't miss this for the world. A very merry birthday, my brother, from another galaxy. There's the dirty galaxies. There you go. This individual would like to just say happy birthday, Jovi, and congrats on the day. Just some guy, normal guy.
Yeah. Hey, he looks like a nice guy. I think he runs PWF. That's Mr. Shane M.
And you know what? It's nice to see Shane M. I like Shane
M. And I actually are working on helping with the PWF and RCW roster.
Yes, well, unfortunately, the PWF Facebook page, I don't want to go into details, but we were locked out of that. Then the YouTube page, we're locked out of that because people want to play games. But that's a different show for a different time. I'm not going down that road. People know what time it is, and they know what's up. They know the truth. Say his name. It's his birthday. I believe in Sean Jovi. Yeah, I definitely believe in Sean Jovi. What did I do to Freddie Daniels? I said, keep my name out of your mouth. Soldier's in the house. I think I referenced him earlier, but he said, how's it going, everybody? Happy birthday. Thank you, Soldier. Good to see Soldier. Very happy to see everybody here tonight. A lot of people here. YouTube, IMF Wrestling. Hit the sub for us. Why are you done with IMF? I think they'd love to have you as a fan. I don't think that they have an issue with you.
Yeah,
don't mind Freddie. He's stuck in the 50s. He's not that bright. Well, he's more brighter than the guy that, let's not go there.
50s,
you in the Hall of Fame. Yes, you will be. Yes, you will be in the Hall of Fame. Your next appearance. We'll talk about that more off the air. Definitely well deserved. And, it'll make Anthony Steele certainly think. Careful before I take the intergalactic back, seeing as I am the true champ, the true intergalactic champion. There you go. Very, very fitting.
I'm going down to IMFville this weekend, actually, for a Comic-Con. So, Frederick, maybe you'll have a chance.
So let me ask real quick. Let me break the ice for a minute. Who's at the Comic-Con? Who do we know at the Comic-Con that's going to be there? Anybody I know?
Well, the IMF boys are going, and we're at one of the headlines is actually the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, it's funny you said that because one of the guests that came on my show last week, Tommy Parker, who's the guy behind Celebrity Flag Football, is friends with the Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, when you see the Honky Tonk Man, mention Tommy Parker. I would be curious to see what he thinks about Tommy Parker. He'll definitely know Tommy Parker very well from Celebrity Flag Football. You do that, I would be very curious to hear what he has to say. I'm telling you, because he should know Tommy Parker very well. He's a personal friend of his. So you tell him that Tommy Parker sent you guys. Let's see what he says.
The goal's to get him to sign the intergalactic belt alongside Mr. Therapy Gecko himself.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
Make that belt travel and get signed by all sorts of faces of intergalactic areas and affairs, as you know.
Let's go, Oos. Let's get Il Drago in the Hall of Fame. Yes, yes, yes. Zilla, we love you. Freddie lives the gimmick. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much for that. I've been telling people this. I'm not, and I regret coming on the show. I don't think you should regret coming on the show. We appreciate you, Zilla. Let's focus. It's Sean Jovi's day. Let's stay on the positives. The highest chief will be in the Hall of Fame. That's considered done. Hello to Soldier. Thank you, Drago. We love Drago and Sportswire, and I appreciate you for all you do for our sport. We appreciate it. Let's see who else we got. The RCW championship would be more prestigious on my shoulder than Nicholas Crenton or Thomas McEntee. We can go title for title at the King of Palo. I'm not worried. He's the hardcore champion. That's a good point.
I mean, Ox, I think the belt would look good on you too. But get in line. There's other people ahead of you right now. You got Crenson to worry about. I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge for you, Ox. I mean, you've beaten him in Darkfire before. So I have faith you'll get through it. And hey, if you can beat Crenson, that gets you in line for a title shot. Maybe we'll do it in April.
We'll find out. But give Jovi a sub. Do that. Forget Jovi. Ace better introduce himself to us. He's a nobody. In Palo, you a somebody. In Palo, he better walk up to you. See, I wouldn't put it in those exact words, but I think that, the locker room etiquette would be that Ace would go up to you, actually, because it's your company. So in a way, he's partially right.
He is right. I mean, I can't argue with it. I'm just a guy of respect who likes to meet new people. I mean,
I think, you know what? I like Ace, and we're here with Shawn Jovi, and it's permanently Shawn Jovi Day forever on the February 5th on all Sportzwire radio platforms. It's also his birthday here. Happy birthday to him. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters here. But, I like Ace. I know Ace, and I think Ace is going to do very well in the IMF. I would be surprised otherwise, and I definitely think that it's going to be a really good thing, and I think Ace, who's been trained by some of the very best, he knows what to do. He's in the Indies right now. He's doing the VTW World Championship proud. He just put it up in a Rumble. I mean, I think Ace is going to go to everybody up like he did with James. He's going to shake everybody's hand. It's all going to be water under the bridge. I think Ace is excited to be here. I've spoken to Ace off the air. He's excited to come to the IMF. He's ready to be here. And I think any perceived issues will be at the door when he enters it. February 22nd will be all gone. So great stuff there. But we'll have to see. Listen, I'm not there in the locker room, but that's just what I think. Freddie Daniels, you think you're a true champion, but I'm not a true champion because I'm the YBW heavyweight champion. I don't know why YBW has anything to do with this, but I appreciate Dominic. But check out YBW. Go follow DKW. Who else we got? Yeah, Dominic, trust me, no one is worried about you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about you. And you should retract that because let's just say I appreciate YBW. You're going to be on here soon, and let's leave it at that. Yes. Go follow Rick. Okay, yep, we'll give YBW a chance. Dominic, that says it all. I heard you. Yeah, this guy is definitely known. Wink and a nod. Let's go with that. Seems like a nod of nobodies are worried about me if they're responding. I would say let's go focus on the positives. Let's go on the positives. Let's not turn it into a firing round tonight. Yeah, no, jump on the tramp. Let's not that. Hopefully today's not generic. No, this is the Tribal Cheese, who, by the way, I'm going to say it. I had a guest on this afternoon. It was RP Davis, my first formal wrestler guest. And, great guy. He's been an extra or at SmackDown, Roman Reigns, wrestled Anthony Ogogo, AEW, Olympic gold medalist, first proper wrestler to have been a boxing champion and vice versa in the UK. And it was like, almost like the interview came across like it was a job. Like it was like he was here and it was like a job interview. And I think what the Tribal Cheese was excited about was he wanted to see some pizzazz. Well, just wait. You're just waiting about 20 minutes. You're going to get that. So don't you worry. But let me plug the Tribal Cheese. Because it's Tribal Cheese Month, by the way, on Sportswire Radio. We got to give him a plug because he just reached 11,000 followers on TikTok. He's like a really big deal. And, the Tribal Cheese definitely is never afraid to say anything. And look at the size of this man. I don't think you'd argue with him. But there he is. Give him a sub. He's almost at 4,000 subscribers. He's like 40 something away. So let's give him a sub. And also, you want to say something?
I just want to make a comment. As a true Wisconsinite, I do appreciate and respect the Tribal Cheese and acknowledge him.
No, we love the Tribal Cheese.
We're a dairy state. I gotta acknowledge my Tribal Cheese.
He is an awesome guy. He tells me every guest, and he has been a big supporter, a dear friend, and he's almost like one of us. And I don't know why he's always up, but that's his month. That's his day. It's your day here permanently. And let's get to the positives. Yeah, thank you, Dominic. I don't know what we're talking about here. Okay, Zilla, we got to move on here. I can't worry about Zilla. You got to move on here. Yeah, let's rise up here. There you go. Tribal Cheese. Yep, there we go. And, Mr. Chase Wakefield is here. Speaking of people that would like to come to the IMF, Mr. Wakefield says he'd like to be here later this fall. And he says, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Wakefield. How's the the wedding planning going on still? I've been out of the loop.
Rad Dad's going to be there. Eric Black, Aaron Blaze, D'Angelo, and Aaron Blaze are
I
wrestling.
remember you were
Soldier,
trying to get me there, but
Soldier and Anthony confronted him. Yeah, it's a Donnybrook. It's a Donnybrook, and yeah, it's all wrestling matters. Yes, thank you, Dominic. It is all wrestling matters. YBW is Young Breakout Wrestling. It's in Pennsylvania. Aaron Blaze, it's his company, and Dominic's the champion. And check them out, definitely. We're having a good time. Yes, thank you for getting us back on the positives. Follow the PWF page, acknowledging my friends here. I hope everyone is okay. Very kind of the Tribal Chiefs to be up at 2:37 in the morning and say we're his friends. From a man like this, by the way, it's good to know that we're friends of his. Because I don't want to be on his bad side, by the way. You don't want to be on his bad side.
I don't think I want to be on the Tribal Cheese's bad side. That'd be a rotten cheese for me.
And this man literally, like, he like climbs mountains as if it was like eating lunch. That's what he does. The man he's a true icon. He's one of my all-time favorite people I've ever interviewed. He's the greatest guest I say in history, and it's his month. And give him a sub.
Awesome.
Yes, we all love everybody. Thank you for somebody for doing that. Let's stay on track. Let's stay on the positives. Ox McCoy is right because everyone here plays their characters in the chat. So, yes, exactly. There you go. Thank you, Dominic. Let's all get back on the same page. Dominic is a good dude. I like Dominic. I like IMF. I want to give everybody a chance. That's what it's all about. Yeah. It is a true honor to join brands with you. Definitely an experience. Dangerous words, brother. We might be past our prime, though, in our early 40s. Hey, James Taylor just went out there in the ring. What's his age again? To quote Blink 182, what's my name again? I mean, that's what's his age again?
I'll remember how old he is.
40, actually. I'm sure James now is going to be upset that I mentioned it, but James is 40. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, Semi is older than me, but I will say, remember, never say never, kid. I think that's what I need to tell him because, hey, like I said, that opportunity is in front of you if you want it.
All right. Yep. Good. Let's be in a better mood. Although me and Rye Guy often wonder if the regulators could pull off one more match, my bones hurt just thinking about it.
Well, get those bones healed, brother. I gotta see it one time only.
One more. Listen, Flair wants to go back out there again, and everybody else, one more match. So who knows? Yeah, no one told the Samoan. Why didn't you guys tell Drago about the Comic-Con?
I thought he knew.
Well, now he knows, so he better. You know what time it is. You Foundation, you better make sure he's with you guys. Yeah, why is Zilla in a bad mood tonight? Green, I used to think the same thing. Now I'm a hardcore champion. Come on out. There you go. Yes. Well, YBW did have an unfortunate ending. Aaron Blaze and Magnum Carter are fighting, but that's for them to figure it out. Happy birthday, Ox. I think I did wish you happy birthday. Yeah, you could have been a double champion. Yes, let's move on. Tribal Cheese YouTube channel. Plug that. Darkron said he's 41, still doing it. He's coming back, and he won't give up. I mean, there you go. Happy birthday to Ox. Damn, you guys are old and strong, still doing it. Yep, you got to keep going, man. Speaking of people who've been killing it right now, Jason Storm, of course, the ROVW champion, and a man that's obviously done a lot in the ring, natural selection. And all you MF are saying you just turned 40, and he gave the emoji.
I'm 35 today. I got 5 years to go before I get over that.
Well, Mr. Storm's got a way to go in his own right, and he'll be tuning in, I'm sure, on Friday for Darkron at 9 because I'm sure he'll have something to say about that. And he'll definitely be tuned in on Sunday when James Taylor is back because James Taylor's always got something to say about Jason Storm, and I'm not going down that road, but the camp's been doing a hell of a job, and his last appearance got a lot of views on Sportswire, yeah, and he can't wait for you all to retire so he can basically take over everything. But congratulations, though, to you, and hopefully not turning 40. 35. 35, you got a ways to go. 35 is
it's not 5 years before I cross
35 is nothing. I mean, 35, come on. 35, what's nothing?
Yeah, second prime.
Well, you know what? Listen, I mean, in wrestling, wasn't Roman the champion at 39? Cena wants one more run at 47. And Jey Uso, I think, is 40. So, I mean, what are we really talking about here? Cody Rhodes is 38, I think. I mean, 39. Yes. So, in wrestling terms, I mean, Jeff Jarrett wants to be a world champion at 57. So we're really going down that road. Shout out to our friends in BTW. BTW, obviously, have a lot going on here. Comatose and certainly RJS, Blackout, BES, Steven Storm, and Let's go. We're not going to repeat those words. This is where, in this case, I would have to go like this. Let me do this for Storm because he doesn't know. We have a new button, Mr. Storm. Hopefully, you get a kick out of this.
Pizza.
I thought that was funny, so maybe we'll use it, but not tonight. Yep. Hello to Jason Storm. Yes. Storm, I'll still kick your ass when you're 40. Well, we'll see what happens there. I'm looking forward to ROEW, and I did see what Cash Carter did to Jacob Collins, and I'm sure I'll talk about that definitely with Kron. Follow Tribal Cheese on YouTube. Who else do I got here? Okay, go get it, Ox. I give you props. Would be nice, but I think these boots have been laced for the last time. LOL. Would be an honor to step in the ring with the Rockstar Shawn Jovi.
Hey, I'm always down. You know where to find me.
And hit a sub for him. Who else we got? Boy, you got a lot of comments tonight. You got what you wanted.
I know. It's never ending. I love it.
Well, good. Yeah, we appreciate Alex Cross. We appreciate Jason Storm, everybody in ROEW, and hit us up for them. ROE, you know what? While Jason's here, I gotta plug ROEW because if I don't plug ROEW, that's like not plugging IMF. So let me do that now. ROEW is doing a great job. Yeah, and we got Fozzie here, so make sure you give Fozzie a big follow. I'm sure Fozzie's like, when are we getting this show off the air so he can go back to just with Jovi? But we'll get to that point eventually. But give ROEW a follow because I always look at ROEW, IMF, and certain, almost peas in a pod. We know that. 19 is good. Yes, we all love to be 19. Still wet behind the ears, but it's good. No, you never say never.
The first summer of Jovi was when I was 19.
Well, there you go. How long until Steel? No, there's no Steel. Did you watch Saturday's episode? He watched Saturday's episode. No Steel. Taylor will probably be on Friday because I got something important with Jovi. I got to get to it. I got to get to it soon. And Steel will probably pop on Taylor's show on Sunday. I think Jake even said it. When Taylor will be here, Steel will be on. So yeah, you're gonna get them Friday. You're gonna get Taylor. I'm sure will pop in on Kron's spot Friday, and then Taylor's here for his own spot Sunday. So who else we got? Yep, Fozzie. And okay, Zilla's got a crush on Cash Carter. Great. Okay. You know what? I got all that out of the way. And yes, I'm going to get you time on Sportswire. Unfortunately, what happens is I can't sync. I'm not Superman. I can't do every show for everybody in one day, but I'm going to get you here in the next week. I promise you. Talk to me off the air. Let's talk off the air. Let's do the business off the air. I'll get you on. We'll talk about it. I watched your match, and I'm going to get you my time, but right now the time is with Shawn Jovi. But I appreciate you. You're going to be on. Just give me a little while, and I'll talk to you. But thank you, Dom. Go follow YBW. But let's talk about, obviously, where we are here coming up to end the show. So you have something there that we obviously want to talk about. I want to talk about a couple of other things that'll segue into that. So let's go into RCW first. I would like to talk about something related to Freddie Daniels first. What can I put that up on the screen if I could?
Put the matches up.
Okay, well, I don't have them all synced, so I have to go put it up one by one. So let me do that first. Let's go with Freddie Daniels first. I think we have that's a grudge match. So let me put that up. Let me go here. Let me take this off the screen. There we go. All right, so talk to me about what we're going to see here. Dexter King's come on here the last few months. Freddie Daniels, I've always spent a lot of time on Freddie Daniels, and somebody else that has. He almost looks like my hairstyle, but we completely don't look like each other after that. But talk to me about what we're going to expect here between Dexter King and Freddie Daniels. These guys have been having some problems of late.
Right, yeah. They've had 2 matches. Eddie has won both. And the grudge is simple. Well, Dexter needs a win. He needs to solidify himself, and there's only one way to do it. That's taking down the former RCW champion and Freddie Daniels. You can't forget, no matter how small, squeaky, and puny Daniels is, he got to hold this belt. Not this same one, but he got to hold the RCW title at one point. So I wouldn't count him out. But Dexter, I wouldn't count him out either. He's got a lot to learn, but he's got a lot of spunk, and he's raring to go. He wants to get that one over Freddie. I've seen him more motivated than ever.
Freddie's kind of come into his own the last several months, and it's very hard to beat somebody 3 times, whether it's in sports, whether it's in any type of competition. 3 times in a row to beat somebody is very difficult. And that's the one thing I would say that maybe can propel Dexter is that he's got a lot on the line here, and he doesn't want to go down 3 consecutive times to Freddie Daniels.
Oh, no one wants to go down to Freddie Daniels, period. I mean, Daniels
well, I'm not going there with that, but I hear the point.
Yeah. But no, Dexter's got an opportunity to shut Freddie up, and I think he could do it. He has a chance. A man with 2 hands has a chance. I forgot who even said that, but we're going to
Well, all right. So Freddie has got something to prove as always. He wants to continue to gain more gold. Ace Diamond's obviously going to be watching. I got to ask you before I pull up the match that I think we're going to get into to decide, the RCW situation in a minute or two. But Ace Diamond, you have anything you want to say about good old Ace, or anything that, you have to say something about Ace. If I don't ask you about Ace tonight, I feel like I didn't do my job.
Yeah, no. Ace, well, I hope your ribs aren't crushed. I mean, I kind of just dropped a base on your ass last time we wrestled. I can't believe he even wrestled. Like, he had the balls to go on a 6-man tag. Good for him. Too bad I squashed his ass,
Well, he wanted to show you guys that he can do it. And he wanted to show that you were on the losing streak that you were, and he felt maybe he had you at the right time. Mephisto loses the world title, and, foundation's down.
Carnival booth. He is a carny.
Well, I'm not going to go down that road, and I have to ask you something else. Let me plug your vlog in a minute before I do get to the final thing of the show. And yeah, Dexter's been a great point. Dexter has been very impressive so far. He's come in here and he's exactly what you're looking for almost, and somebody who's young, somebody who's hungry and wants to improve.
Right, and one of my purposes for this title is to have people who are young and up and comers who wouldn't get their shot at glory right away in the IMF, let alone anywhere. This is their chance to. This is like the my first championship thing. It was my first championship when I was a kid. Why can't it be someone else's? Why not give back and live the reality a company I once worked for once said? And that's what this belt solidifies: giving back to those who need the experience, who want to rise up but can't quite get there yet. That's what this is about. It's about reigniting the underground and the wrestlers within it. That's why these flames on this belt. That's why it's reignited championship wrestling.
But this guy doesn't seem to be reigniting very much, because he was a huge topic of discussion on your vlog, and he showed up to the IMF, and I guess since Anthony Steele's not on tonight, and I thought we would bring on Anthony Steele, all kidding aside, and he's here, and I mean, just what was your impressions of a man you've had some history with in another promotion, and he showed up in the Flesh and Wound, and did you have to do a double take?
I mean, the part on the vlog where Steele and Styx just verbally dissected him was probably the best part of the whole vlog, honestly. Well, I had fun watching them verbally destroy Nolan.
Well, I guess, Nolan certainly had his moments, and here we go. And, I guess if you didn't get Anthony Steele, you got him here now on Sportswire. Anthony's here, and there was certainly some back and forth, and obviously Nolan, it was almost like a familiar appearance here.
And guess what? I still felt less pain than you do looking in the fucking mirror.
Ooh. So I've never done anything by myself, right? I got the centers. I got the house now. All right, let's stay back. Resurrection Wrestling. Did everything on my own. Never had a tag team, never had a faction, never had anything to do with it. And beat multiple guys bigger and badder than you. Went on to the Indies. Went on to the Indies in Memphis, Tennessee. One of the hardest places to get on the Memphis indie scene ever. Won championships by myself. Was the longest reigning First Blood champion in NOCW. What happened before that? I went to XCW by myself. Was undefeated and was New Age champion.
Undefeated in XCW, that's an accomplishment.
Well, I don't pass.
What New Age champion? Are you undefeated in? Let me ask you this. And here's the best thing.
I think we got the point. So obviously Nolan took a beating. I went through this on Saturday. So, I mean, is Nolan coming back or what? What do you think?
Is Nolan coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back to IMF. You think he'll come back, and after what he went through here on your vlog, or what?
I mean, I didn't say the kid was smart, so if he's not smart, he'll probably show up.
Okay.
But he won't show up.
But I guess, we got our dose of Anthony Steele and
We got our Steel cameo for the day.
Yep, we definitely did that. And if you are here before I get to the final subject here of the evening, Shawn Jovi's YouTube page, please hit a sub if you haven't yet. So do that here. And also, before I move on to the final topic of the night, I've spent time with Dexter King, speak to him on a weekly basis. He's got potential and respect for him. Love that. Love hearing things like that. That's what I'm interested in. Great stuff. It is a reminder. It is Tribal Cheese Month, but also Shawn Jovi Day permanently forever on Sportswire Radio February 5th. So make sure you note that. And let's get to what we're here for tonight. The last topic, the main one, even the main entree, you might want to say. I'm going to put the poster up for it here in a second because this is where I'm very excited to get your opinions on, because you are in another big match against a man that you've got a lot of history with, but also a question mark, a literal question mark. And we see the RCW champion, Nicholas Crenson, here, and the devil himself. And then we've got you and a question mark here for the RCW championship that I see right there on the screen. So you know what time it is, and tell us what's ahead.
So Nicholas Crenson, as we know, he got beat up by McEntee and I gave him a future shot. Now, the thing that's special about RCW Winter Wasteland is it has tremendous history, with me especially. RCW was my child. We all know that. And then it went from 2008 to 2010. We had 3 Winter Wastelands. And all 3 of those matches, I have won.
You've won. You've won all of them. So that means... What?
Won them all.
Won them all. So really...
In triple threats, I've won. Now, Crenson, he put his money where his mouth is. He goaded me. He wanted a piece of Shawn Jovi. I didn't even
he's had your number in the past. We saw in championship matches he's defeated you before, and he feels that's where he's most comfortable.
Right, and that's the thing. Crenson ran his mouth, and he got me to enter this match. I'm going to be honest, Tom. I didn't want to be in the first match for this. I wanted to be Mr. Selby, the guy who runs RCW.
So this was a situation that you didn't want to be in, where Omen might have alleged you've been in for other matches. This is something that you were back to a corner, you were put up against the wall, and you were left with no choice.
Yeah, I mean, I had the mystery opponent set aside, and I had to inject myself because he wanted it. Well, he got what he wished for. A very pissed off Shawn Jovi, who's on his birthday, having a great time, might I add.
Having a great night, a historic night. You've had a big turnout tonight. You got the turnout you wanted. You've proved you're the draw. 20 plus people on the live stream, people that haven't been here before. Everybody celebrating you, congratulating you, people coming together from all places. And yet you're here talking about something that you wanted no part of.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I built RCW, I didn't want it to be about me. It was about me when I ran it back in the day. I don't need to be the guy who's the champion of his own company, especially for 2 years.
You don't want that nepotism that Omen was alleging, that opportunities you got favored for in matches that he felt that you didn't deserve, and that was part of the reasons why he was frustrated with the foundation. In this case, no. This was different because Mr. Selby was trying to put together matches. We saw that on your YouTube page, and this is really something where you literally, figuratively and literally, I should say, had no choice.
I mean, I did have no choice. I mean, if you want to goad and poke the bear, then what do you expect? The bear's gonna strike. The bear's
drop that cannonball, drop that base.
Yeah, the base will drop and the bear will go raw. I mean, what can I say? I don't think bears go roar though. They're like
Katy Perry does roar, but I don't mind looking at Katy Perry for those reasons. But I'll leave that at that because it's your day, not Katy Perry's day. I have plenty of opportunities to look at that. But I mean, this is something that you were left no choice. But now that you're in this predicament, this is a match that should be a layup for you. King of Palo, RCW title should all be yours. And maybe we're not only going to talk about the summer of Jovi, maybe it's the winter of Jovi now. Maybe this is now the winter of Jovi all of a sudden, not the summer of Jovi. If the way things pan out coming up here,
I could have a second crown and I could have a new title. I mean,
champion, another crown, back-to-back King of Palo, RCW champion, reigniting the underground backyard circuit once again and being on top. And you know what time it is. You got your day permanently. I mean, all is well again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I'm hoping for the best, Tom. I mean, like I said, I've had my ups and downs, but I'm confident brighter things are on the horizon. And that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, there's been a lot of controversy going around, but as we all know, I want no part of that controversy, and I am here as an exclusive member of IMF, and I'm here to stay. I ain't going nowhere. And if I do, it ain't going to be anytime soon. Y'all are going to have to deal with my February 5th, Shawn's birthday, national.
February 5th, Shawn Jovi's here, and, you know, it's just – you're here every February 5th, and you're going to have this championship, and RCW is going to go to new heights, and you're going to be now an exclusive IMF roster member, and things are going to be hunky-dory, and just King of Pale, you're going to win that again, and you and Mephisto, maybe you guys will continue to tag team wrestling, and maybe look at some other potential avenues for more gold, like the tag team titles, and the road is paved with gold for Shawn Jovi here.
It's on my bingo card to win the tag titles. I've never held a tag.
We talked about that last time you were here on Christmas. On Christmas, what a historical show that was. What a magical moment. And I mean, you basically, like I said, the road is paved with gold now with you all of a sudden.
It is, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Well, I mean, we're going to see it. I mean, we're going to see the match that a match you didn't want. It was a match that you, in this particular case, did not want. And we're going to see it for the RCW World Heavyweight Championship. It's Shawn Jovi and Nicholas Crenton and a question mark. Now, I have to ask you about this question mark as I put the poster back up here. And what do you think here on this question mark? It could be anybody. It could be anybody. Maybe James Taylor's looking for gold. You know, we last saw him in a triple threat match for the PWF championship. Maybe he's decided that he wants another shot at gold. You know, D'Angelo the Flame is back. Maybe he wants another belt. Ace Christian's the VTW world champion. If he disposes Thomas McEntee, maybe he's the question mystery man. And I mean, it could be anybody. It could be Anthony Steele. I mean, certainly, who knows? I mean, it could be Anthony Steele as a question mark. I mean, CJ Black, the good guy. I mean, maybe he wants gold to take with him to Michigan. I mean, it could almost be anybody here. That's this mystery question mark. I mean, what's your thoughts on who it could be?
Well, I do have this contract on this little clipboard here, Tom. Poorly written. My handwriting's terrible. But needs one more. So, like, what can I say? Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we'll find out at Winter Wasteland who's going to sign that third spot. And it could, like I said, you're right. It could be anyone. It could be CJ Black. It could be D'Angelo Flame.
Ace Christian could be.
Somebody not even announced for the show for all we know.
You know what? I said James Taylor. James Taylor has been in a triple threat match. Maybe Justin Parsley. What if Justin Parsley wants more gold? You know what time it is. I mean,
right. It could be anybody. And that is, again, what RCW is about. Opportunity to those who don't normally get the opportunity. So if you want the opportunity, all you got to do is hit me up and sign this dotted line.
Could be Felix Jones, even a guy that would make perfect sense. Even Felix Jones is a guy that maybe would want that opportunity for his career to add singles gold. Or JoJo Jackson, maybe, you know what, he couldn't win the Midwestern title. Maybe he wants this one. I don't know.
Hey, he'll have a more improved title this time around than the previous.
You know, well, that's why, you know what, maybe.
Fantastic champion, too, might I add.
Well, you know what, he's a fantastic talent, but it could be almost anybody. And the irony of a match you didn't want, now, it could turn in anything. And even Ox McCoy's in the chat, and he said maybe it could be him. That's a great point. It could be even him. And yeah, you can take Katy Perry, but I mean, you know, Ox wants this shot. Even Ox wants this shot.
It's a beautiful belt. I don't blame him.
Well, he wants more gold, and maybe what a way that would certainly satisfy Omen Black to take something of yours, something of your valued possession. Ox McCoy is already defeated Crenson. I mean, so for him that should be a layup, and he's had history with you, and he would love to redeem himself with past matches against you. We know the history you and Ox had last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 2-0 against Ox, so sorry, bud. Like I said, I could put you in line, but you have to be in line.
Well, you know what?
Shots. I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, that's an LL Cool J song. I'm not that type of guy, but you may not be that type of guy. But I'll come back to that in a minute. But Tamara's here, and her other half had a birthday recently. So happy birthday to Brandon. And Tamara's wishing you a happy birthday. And just stay tuned. And if you're here, give us a follow on YouTube. But I mean, you're excited, I guess, to be in a match you didn't want to. And if you had anything to say to this mystery person that you've got this contract offer to, what would you want to say to this mystery person out there that might be looking to take a feeler on this match here coming up?
Simple. Watch out. There's nothing more you can do, Tom, because this is the match, one for the ages. I mean, whoever signs this dotted line, like I said, gets an opportunity of a lifetime. And it's just a matter of somebody coming to take it. That's literally all it comes down to.
That's it. It's all as simple as that. Simple as easy as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, baby, you and me. That's all it is. I mean, so all they have to do is just basically sign the contract, introduce themselves to you, and just say, that's it. All they need to do.
Pretty much.
So when do you think that will maybe have this opportunity? When do you think that will be notified that this mystery man or person or anything else, maybe it's Dakota, maybe Dakota's going to take an offer on this. She's training. I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it could be anybody. Maybe Ace Diamond. What if it's Ace Diamond? Ace should get an opportunity.
Hey, if Carney Boy knows where to find me, I mean, the contract's right here.
Well, I mean, the contract's right there. So, I mean, I hope somebody would sign that contract. I mean, it's a pretty piece of paper, and but what would it mean to you to have the RCW championship? I remember when you held the title and held it.
It was good times. I mean,
good times.
Like I said, the RCW title is what helped me get my confidence too in that run in that certain promotion. RCW has always found its way to me. After all, kind of like Cobra Kai, RCW never dies.
RCW is never. It's fact. It's the contrary. It's being reignited. You're reigniting this circuit
of what nothing was left of it, and it's lived through in a title, and it's lived through other things. But now it's back. It's living. Thanks to IMF management, they're letting me do these shows as pre-show matches to do RCW. I'm forever grateful for management for that, might I add.
And thank you, Dakota. Wishes you a happy birthday. And
Dakota.
Thank you very much for Tamara tuning in. Didn't see that one coming, but so that's as simple as that. So obviously, this person maybe will reveal themselves soon, or just, I mean, nothing you want to say, everything else, and just everything's okay, and this will all sort itself out maybe soon, right? You think? Hopefully.
I mean, I'm just waiting, man.
Well, I mean, it's been a great night for you. It's been a great night. You got your birthday. And, for those that didn't get a chance to see it, Shawn Jovi Day permanently recognized on Sportswire Radio. And, it's February 5th. Every February 5th, Shawn Jovi's got the day. He's one of 2 people in history to have gotten a day permanently acknowledged on his behalf. And he's been certainly remembered for all he's done for our community, our circuit, the All Wrestling Matters movement. And that's it pretty much. It's just... it's a great night. I mean, nothing else to say. I guess it's almost like, just any final words or just anything that you want to get just okay. Wait a minute. Oh my God! Wait a minute. Who is that? What happened? What happened? Shawn Jovi's been decimated on his birthday. Who do I think that is? Who is it? Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? That's Darkfire. That's Darkfire. We haven't seen him in months. Darkfire is back. He was best friends with Shawn Jovi. And it looks like Darkfire has grabbed a pen. He's grabbing the paper, the contract that'll sign the match. He's the mystery man. He's the third person to the match, to the RCW. World Underground Championship. It's going to be Shawn Jovi, Nicholas Crenson, the current RCW champion, and Darkfire. Darkfire's back. He's beating up. We need help. We need help. Get out of here. We don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble. That's it. That's it. We got to go. We got to go. Darkfire. We're calling the police. EMTs, EMS, after what I went through this afternoon and what we've went through right here, we don't need this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. Darkfire, what you've just done here, you've certainly come back. You haven't been here in months, and now you're basically looking to take, I suppose, what's yours. We should have seen it all along. Shawn Jovi's best friend, his best friend of all people, a man he's looked over more than anybody else for nearly 20 years, has done the unthinkable. This is not what friends do to each other. This is not what family does to each other. And Darkfire has done the unthinkable. Shawn Jovi is out. He is down goes Jovi. Down goes Jovi in a blaze of glory. He's certainly not going to keep the faith after what I just saw. Darkfire has just signed it, ladies and gentlemen, officially. We're out of time here. Darkfire, you got to go. You got to go. You're out the door, because what we just saw, ladies and gentlemen, was unfathomable. Shawn Jovi is out. He is down. He is cold. He is cold as ice, and he's on his feet, and there's nothing anybody can do. He is down goes Jovi. Down goes Jovi. Shawn Jovi on his birthday. Shawn Jovi on his birthday is knocked out. Senseless. Senseless brutality. That was a senseless attack from a man that was his brother. Darkfire, for nearly 20 years, was Shawn Jovi's best friend. Shawn Jovi gave him opportunity after opportunity. And Darkfire gets another one, and the blood is on Darkfire's hands. Will Shawn Jovi even make it to their match for the RCW World Underground Championship? I have no idea. But all I know is that this was supposed to be a celebration to cap off one of the greatest nights in Sportswire radio history. Shawn Jovi gets his day. Shawn Jovi gets his moment as one of the most beloved figures in the backyard of the underground wrestling circuit. But now, the only thing that Shawn Jovi's going to love right now is maybe a pillow in a hospital somewhere in Wisconsin, because it's down goes Jovi. Down goes Jovi. Somebody get him help. Somebody get him medical attention. But ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. And this was something I saw, didn't see it coming. I didn't see this one. And I hope that Shawn Jovi will make it. He'll make it to February 22nd. He'll make it to that match for the RCW World Heavyweight Championship. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. If you were here, hit the sub button for us. Hit the like button. And Shawn Jovi, I hope we see you again here on this platform. I hope you'll be okay. But it seems like right now, you definitely went down in a blaze of glory, and you were crushed by your so-called best friend and brother, Darkfire. Nicholas Crenson, you better sleep with one eye open with that RCW World Championship, because what Darkfire just did here tonight, friends don't do that to friends. Thank you, everybody. We're out of time, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And it was Shawn Jovi Day today, and it was Tribal Cheese Month, but Shawn Jovi, it's down goes Jovi. Down goes Jovi. That's right, down goes Jovi. Hit the sub button for the IMF. Hit the sub button for Shawn Jovi, because who knows what's left of him. But until then, I'll see everybody here tomorrow, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And thank you, everybody, for tuning into this one, and thank you, everybody, for your support, for getting us the Man Beast, the War Machine Rhino, and Savio Vega. And maybe, just maybe, we needed Savio Vega and Rhino to protect what we just saw here from avoiding to happen. Thank you, everybody, and we're going to see Il Drago very, very soon. Who knows? But until then, we need to get Shawn Jovi medical attention. We need to call the police, follow police report, certainly get the EMS involved, and see if what's left of Shawn Jovi, because that base was dropped on him. The cannonball fell on Jovi from his best friend and brother, Darkfire. I'll see everybody here tomorrow.